Welcome back, everyone. We've got some pretty significant energies this week. We are walking through the 1111 portal. We don't have a whole lot going on this week, but what we do have going on is super introspective. It does feel like things are kind of slowing down a little bit. Mercury is officially in its retrograde motion in Sagittarius. It's going to be dipping back into Scorpio around the time of the new moon next week. We're talking about this week. We do have Jupiter going retrograde on Tuesday as we walk through the 1111 portal. And then midweek, we do have Mercury retrograde in a conjunction to Mars in Sagittarius, which is the ignition point. And so this 1111 portal is actually pretty significant because it does carry with it the archetypal energy, numerologically speaking, connected to the death card. And so this portal on Tuesday feels like this death energy. It holds the vibration 13. And so right now it feels like everything is super introspective. It feels like we are being called to slow it right down, to refine our fire, and to really take heed about what it is that we believe in, especially about the twin flame journey. And so this 1111 portal on Tuesday, it's one of the most powerful days of the year because we are completing a 9-year, numerologically speaking. And with the symbolized energy of the death card, it does feel like a major culmination of an ending that will lead to a rebirth or a transformation. And so for many in the Twin Flame Collective, this week is what I want to call a soul reset. And it's like the death of the illusions of the false soul contract, so all of this truth can rise, because Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is truth seeking, right? What are your philosophies? What are your beliefs? And with Jupiter stationing retrograde on the same day as the 1111 portal, I feel this expansion is slowing down, almost like grinding to a halt. So deeper healing can happen because Jupiter retrograde in Cancer is connected to home, is connected to nurturing. And so right now we're turning inward to nurture our needs, to nurture the home within us all. And so this week is all about filling our own emotional cup. We can't pour into others if we're not pouring into ourselves. And so it's going to be a little bit quiet this week on the channel. But midweek is an ignition point with Mars in that conjunction to Mercury retrograde. And so this is a moment where maybe thoughts meet action. There could be a revelation that could reignite a review or a release. I feel this week for the masculine, there's a lot of awakening triggers. And for the feminine, this is about grounding and nurturing. And so this week could bring up a lot of karmic conversations. There could be a lot of misunderstandings with Mercury retrograde, but it's going to lead to truth. It's going to lead to clarity. There's going to be a lot of mirrored situations designed, I want to say cosmically designed by the universe to align both of the twins to a higher frequency, to a higher path. And we do need to remember everything that is revealed is not actually punishment, but it is a form of purification, because the truth oftentimes will upset us, but the truth will absolutely set us free. And the 1111 energy is amplifying all of these psychic, I want to say, downloads this week. And so you're probably going to be receiving signs, synchronicities through dreams, even possibly telepathic communication from the counterpart. We're really needing to trust our intuition this week, okay? We're really needing to trust what Spirit is showing us. And we can't be chasing anything, not chasing physical validation or any type of validation, okay? And so this week is all about aligning, going within, owning your frequency, and stepping into truth with a higher sense of love, because that is what's going to magnetize union going into the new moon next week, because we're going to have the new moon in Scorpio next week, and we're also going to have the sun entering into Sagittarius the day after the new moon. And so right now we're going inward. This week is deeply introspective, okay? If you are wanting to learn more about astrology and how to work with the energies, come on over to the membership. Come on over and join the Soulful Led Astrology membership. This week we are digging into the social planets. We're going to be talking about Jupiter and Saturn and how they affect us and how they combine with the personal planets that we covered last week. It's never too late to join. Head on over, check it out. And bonus, I have just posted a Mercury retrograde sale. If you have ever been curious about a birth chart reading, a transit chart reading, or a soulmate synastry reading, this is the time. This is the lowest price you will ever get. I've got all of my astrological readings on 30% off. This is a huge sale. It will be all the way through Mercury retrograde. Mercury goes direct on the 29th. So you've got 20 days to book in a reading with me at a super discounted rate. So if you're seeking guidance, if you're confused, if you're wondering, is this my person? Is this twin flame? Is this karmic? Book in a session with me. You will not get a lower price out of me anytime soon. So hit me up. Check out the link below. Let's get into some cards. Let's see what the cards have to say for the week ahead for the Twin Flame Collective. Well, this week's spread definitely feels like a wild one. It kind of feels like this energy of the breakup before the breakthrough. I feel a little bit of a karmic ending here. There's a need for emotional vulnerability, and I feel divine intervention as well. So let's break it down, because I feel overall this is linked to the ignition point. We do see the Knight of Wands here. I feel truth bombs coming out, right? We see truth bombs, possibly some heated words. And I feel a massive spiritual cleanup here. And so this energy really feels like fire meeting water, passion meeting purification. And it feels a little bit volatile. It really does. But it also feels transformative. So let's break down the oracle cards that came out. The first card out is the divorce card, and it's in reversed. And so there is a separation here, not yet complete, or a divorce not yet complete. This does feel like the divine masculine has 1 foot in, 1 foot out. This could be tied to a karmic contract that he is not fully detached from. And then we go right into the card of vulnerable, and we see the baby deer. And I do feel this does show the divine masculine awakening to what feels like a lot of emotional sensitivity. Leadership is being birthed here, though, but it's birthed through vulnerability and not through control. And he's drawn to you, divine feminine. He's drawn to you. And I do feel you are magnetic right now, divine feminine. Your frequency is calling your counterpart home. You are the energetic anchor in the energies this week. The bottom of the deck, we get the long distance trip. And so I always get a couple of messages with this card. This could mean travel, or that your counterpart is at a distance. So with Mercury, there's always going to be a theme of travel, or a need to maybe take a trip, book a trip. But I feel there could be physical travel, there could be emotional travel, or energetic travel. This could literally mean that you are at a distance from your counterpart, and it might require them to get on a plane to come and see you, or vice versa. But I will tell you what I always feel when this card comes out is the Kundalini flight path. This is where you board Kundalini Airlines and you shed all of the past baggage to prepare for reunion. And so I want to say read between the lines. Read between the lines, because basically love is at the core. Beneath all of the karmic debris between the twins, love is at the core. And I don't believe reconciliation is off the table. I actually feel there needs to be a full karmic release before that commitment can come forward, before we can actually heal the hurt. And so we're really going to need to navigate these retrograde energies very carefully, because I do believe secrets are coming to light and we really need to pay attention to the details. Okay, so let's talk about the tarot breakdown, because this is the ignition point. Okay, the first card out, the Lovers reversed, it mirrors the Divorce card in reversed. We get the Five of Wands in reverse and the Ace of Swords in reverse. So the whole top row is upside down in reverse. This is the separation, right? This is the confusion, the truth being withheld is what this feels like. And there's going to be a moment moving us towards clarity, right? And so to me, this says the fighting is dying down. And I feel this Saturn retrograde is actually forcing this honesty to come to light. It does align, like I said, with that Divorce card that came out in reversed with the oracle messages. It just feels like unfinished business here that is needing closure. Okay, the middle row, the Nine of Swords, the Queen of Coins reversed. She's the central energy of the reading. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, doesn't have to be those signs. And then we get Mars. So on either side of this Queen of Coins in reversed archetypal energy, we get Mars energy. And so this feels like the masculine, riddled with anxiety, sleepless nights, fear of losing control. I feel there is a feminine here feeling very ungrounded, or maybe even feeling undervalued. And so she's clinging, she's holding on. And then the Towers come in to shatter the illusion. And so I feel there's a masculine here, very much stressed, riddled with anxiety about breaking free from a false foundation, with a Queen of Coins in reverse, because he doesn't really value her, right? And she's very ungrounded. She's very needy. She could be relying on the masculine for financial stability. She doesn't have stability of her own, is what this is telling me. And so this feels like expect midweek for there to be a massive shakeup or a tower connected to the Mars conjunct Mercury retrograde. I feel there very well could be a confrontation being ignited, a confrontation that's kind of been put on the back burner, where two people aren't really talking and avoiding the truth of a separation. And I just feel like the truth can't stay hidden anymore, with the Tower right below the Ace of Swords in reverse. And the bottom row screams emotional breakdown, right? There's going to be an emotional breakdown before a breakthrough. And I feel this is where the masculine will finally take that bold action. This is the sudden movement. This is the travel. This is the communication. And then the Fool card closes out the week. This is a brand new cycle. This is a brand new beginning after destruction. So the old cycle has to end, and we have to have courage. And that courage needs to outweigh fear, okay? And I feel yeah, we have to have the courage to break free, because the World reversed on the bottom of the deck. Oh, look at that. High Priestess reversed. Magician reversed. Look at all of these reversals again. So we started with reversals. The bottom of the deck, reversals. The, oh my goodness, the Palace of Wands in reversed, and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. The Knight of Coins in reversed here. And I just feel this is the unfinished lesson, right? This is what's below the unfinished lesson. Secrets being revealed. Manipulation being exposed. A false start. A lack of passion. Delay. This could be a karmic reckoning with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I just feel this week is going to force some karmic truth to come to light. It's going to surface so the new cycle can start, right? We can't jump into the new cycle until we complete the karmic lesson. And so there could be a negative repetitive pattern here, where the masculine has repeated the same cycle over and over and over again with a feminine who he undervalues, that doesn't also know her worth. And so there's that mirror reflection And so there's this truth I feel coming to light in the energies this week. And it does feel like there is a reunion energy coming forward, but only after this karmic cycle closes out, right? And so reunion energy is here. It is here. There is a reunion on the horizon, a reconciliation on the horizon. And I do feel it's going to require sharing. And so the counterpart might be reaching out with a message, letting you know they've closed out a cycle. They want you to know what they've learned, the wisdom, the knowledge that they've attained from this karmic experience. But there is a challenge ahead here. There's definitely a challenge ahead here. There's a test, I want to say, before union. And I feel the masculine collective must release control and face that truth. They're going to have to let go of the illusion of control. And I feel divine feminine, look at that. You are just being called to nurture your temple, nourishment. Divine feminine, your role is to nurture yourself, self-care, body nourishment, boundaries, do your sacred rituals. You're anchoring in the energy by staying balanced and staying radiant. And that's when the breakthrough is going to come through. And so the tower is going to clear the space this week for divine restoration. So get ready for a breakthrough that's going to follow a massive emotional release. And so what this whole reading says to me this week is karmic completion. Vulnerability is truth strength. Truths are going to be exposed. There is separation and healing in a separation. And there are reunion energies rising. And so there is a breakthrough after a breakup or a breakdown. And so I feel really what we need to be working on this week is staying grounded, right? Stay grounded. Really look at the old patterns that are being revealed with the retrograde energies coming through. And don't chase, don't react. Respond. Respond from a place of love and grounded centeredness. And I want to say too, with the wheel in reversed, stay open to divine timing, right? We have to allow the old to crumble, and then the truth will allow us to rebuild a stronger foundation. And so if you would like to go further with me with a personal reading, like I said, I have all of my astrological sessions on sale, 30% off. All you have to do is type in retrograde for a coupon code in all capital letters, and you will get that 30% off discount. So go check it out. Come join us on the membership. Have a great week ahead, everybody, and I will see you all again next time.